In this lesson, we're going to continue our study of Canon and D, and we're going to be concentrating on the next three passes of the chord progression. And what I just played for you there was the first pass, so let's take a close look at that. Okay, we're going to start with our D, and we're going to pluck the D and B strings, then the G string, and then the B and E strings together and back to the G string. So it's one more time. Then we go to an A, and this time we're going to put our pinky way up here on the 5th fret. And we're going to pick open A and the 5th fret E, high E string. Oh, and don't forget, we're in drop D tuning, so your low E string is to a D. So we're going to pick the open A and the E string together. Then we pick the D string, holding an A chord. So I'm barring the 2nd fret, D, G, and B strings. Pinky is on the 5th fret of the E string. Then we're going to move to the 3rd fret of the high E string with our 2nd finger and pick the high E and B strings together, and then pick the G string. So it's and you pick that G with your thumb or your 1st finger. Whatever's most comfortable. Then we're going to move to our B minor chord, picking the A and E string together first, then D string, then the B and G strings together, back to the D string. So it's so far we have Now's where it gets tricky with the F sharp minor chord. So the next part sounds like this. So we have to bar this kind of funny. So you're going to do your 3rd finger on the 4th fret of the low E string, pinky on the 4th fret of the D string. You're going to bar the E, B, and G strings. You're going to pick the low and the high E string and the low E string together. Then you're going to pick the D string. Then you're going to have to move your 1st finger up and play the 2nd fret. Keep your finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, but then you're going to need this high E string open. So you can pick that. So it's then back to the D string. So that's what we play on the F sharp minor. Now we go to a G, and we're going to pick 5th fret low E string and 3rd fret B string, then open G, and then back open G, then G and B strings together, but you're taking your 1st finger off, and then back to the G string. I'm sorry. It's low E string and B string together, 3rd fret on the B string, then D string open, then G and B string open, back to D string open. Like that. Okay, so we got this is the tricky part. G. Okay, now we go to our D like this, which is tricky, right? We already know it from the first lesson. We're going to pick low E string and B string, then the D string, then the A and G strings together, and back to D string. So it's okay. Then we go back to the G. Same way, it starts the same way as when we were on the G the first time. But this time we're gonna go, so we're 5 and 3, 5 on the low E string, 3rd fret on the B string. Then you're gonna pick open G, and then open B, and then back to open G. And then to A, we're gonna play an A sus4 chord here first. So you're gonna bar an A and then put your 2nd or 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. Then we're gonna pick the open A and the B string together, and then the D string. Then you take your 3rd finger off and pluck the B and G strings together. So from the G, and that's the whole pass. So let's see what it sounds like, nice and slow. And then we start the next pass. So practice that first, get that pass down real solid, and then the next pass, the melody starts to move even more, but it's actually a little, well, it's got some tricky parts in it. So let's take a look at that now. Okay, so that's the second pass we're going to work on in this lesson. And as you can see, the melody is really starting to move around. So still following the same chord progression, but we're moving a lot more. So we're going to start with this little lick. So we're hitting open E, which is our D note, 3rd fret B string to 2nd fret B string to 3rd fret B string. And the key here is you want this low E string to ring out as long as possible. You don't want it to be, you want it to ring out throughout your notes. Then we're going to hit open D and open A. So, like that. So on the A, we have 2 on the G, 2 on the D, 4 on the D string. And that brings us to the B minor, which is what I'm playing there is 2nd fret A string and open D. So we have then while that's ringing out, you do 3, 2, 0 on the B string. And that covers the B minor chord. So. Then we're going to come up here to the 4th fret, low E string, this is our F sharp chord. And you're going to play the 6th fret G string. This is kind of tricky, this part here. Play those together. Then then pinky on the 7th fret of the B string, and then second finger on the 5th fret of the E string, and pinky on the 7th fret of the E string. So it's just like that. Okay. And then we're going to go to our G chord. But this time, 3rd fret, or 5th fret with your 3rd finger, the low E string. 1st finger's on the 3rd fret of the high E string. You're going to do that move. 3, 2, 0, 3. Then you're going to go 2 and open E string. So you play that. And then you do 2, open, 3, 2. All while your low E string is ringing out. So we have so from here, from the F sharp, whoops, let me try that again. Okay, then we're going to go to our G again, but this time we're going to hit 5th fret on the low E string and open B. And then we're going to hit 2 on the G, open. And then 4 on the D string. It's kind of a stretch. If it's easier for you to do it with your pinky, that's fine. So coming from the D, and then we have our A chord. So we're playing basically a power chord here. Open A, 2nd fret D, open G, 4 on the D string, 2 on the A string, or D string. And that's it for that pass. So let's see if we can play through that nice and slow. That brings us to the 3rd pass and final pass for this lesson. We're going to start same thing on a D, but now it's moving more, and it's in the lower register. So we're going to start with this little lick. That's what we play over the D. So I'm hitting open E and D strings together, then 2, 4, 0 on the G string. Then we go to an A, and that's, so it's open A, and then the G string. I'm borrowing an A chord. Then we pick the D string, and then the G string again, and then we take our bar off so we can play that G string open. So we got so far. Then we go to our B minor. This is a little tricky here. So we're playing a B, basically a power chord, 2 and 4. Then we're going to play, so we play that together. Then we play an open B string. Then we have to put our bar down and hit the 2 on the G string, then back up to hit the G string open. Like that. So far we have and then we go to our F sharp, it's going to be this. So we don't need to bar it this time, but 4th fret, 4th fret, 2nd fret, open G, D string, and then the 2 on the D string. So coming from the B minor, from the top, okay, now we go to our G. It's another stretch. So 5th fret on the low E string, play the low E string and G strings together. And then 4th fret D string, 2nd fret D string, back to the open G. Whoops. Then we go to our D. We're going to play open E string and D string 4th fret. Then 2, open D, 4. So from the G, one more time. Okay, then we're back to our G, similar pattern. Then we go to this high B at the end instead though. So it's E string and G string together, 4th fret D, 2nd fret D string, and then open B string. And then we have our A. We're going to pick open A string, 2nd fret G string together. And you're actually not going to have to bar that, because we need the open B string, then open B string, 2 on the G string, open G. So from the G, just like that. So we start like this. Then to our A. B. Then our F sharp, minor. Then the G. Then back to D. Then back to G. And then the song continues on. So we will work on part 3 later, but for now, get this down along with the first 3 passes from part 1 of this lesson series on Canon and D.